one here back of the Classics Volume 2 for Atari. I uploaded this to my channel, played it. You know, that's how I've been doing my descriptions for some of these games. It's a lot easier for me to just play it and then kind of get an idea of what's going on. But basically, what I figured out was, so I just a quick update. I'll let myself in the past play the games while we talk here real quick. I discovered the problem with the controller. Obviously, you noticed that there was some connectivity issues. I am now using my controller that I got from Mexico. What do you mean, David, about buying something from Mexico? So, I was on Amazon and I saw some really cheap PS4 DualShock 4 controllers. And I was like, man, what the heck? Oh, not Amazon, I'm sorry, eBay. And I'm like, why are they cheaper? I didn't realize until I got them in the mail that it said made in Mexico. That's why the price difference. And it was cheaper. But it should be a region-free controller. I mean, it shouldn't really matter. So I've been using it for a while and had no problems, but then I realized I was still having disconnection issues. The disconnection issues was from my original DualShock 4 controller that came with the PS4 when I purchased it. There's something wrong with it. And so instead of calmly fixing it, I threw it against the wall and it the left side of it shattered. So shattered meaning all the buttons popped out of it and then it turned off. Like, oh, Teach Invasion has a very anger problem. No, it's like, yeah, I was playing Rock Band and all I wanted to do was connect my controller, and that controller that was having problems it was in a connection loop. Like, you know when you first log in with a new controller, it asks you what profile to log into? It kept doing that over and over again. Like, I kept clicking my profile and it kept logging in and disconnecting, logging in, disconnecting, and at that point it just chucked it across the room and then it stopped and turned off. So it kind of just sits over there on my desk now. I'm planning on taking it apart and trying to fix it, but in the meantime, I'm using this controller. And then I looked at the video and then I was like, I didn't hear anything. Maybe I waited a couple minutes before I said something in the beginning of the video, and then out of nowhere, I didn't hear anything. And then I watched another video that I played. Hey, look, it's Breakout. Fun game, except for very hard to play. Look at that. Don't use a joystick on a Atari game. Use the D-pad. Great, we get to hear the beep boop, beep boop. Anyways, what I discovered was, for some reason, I don't know, I've been having these bad luck with these Turtle Beach Recons. And they're not the expensive ones. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe I should invest and get a more expensive Turtle Beach, because I had no problems with Turtle Beaches in the past, but just far recently, actually, it's funny because I have the same set sitting on my desk next to me. It's the headset, but the part where the 3mm jack, the 3.5mm jack is, that snapped off. I mean, literally, when I took it out of the controller, all I got was the end piece of it, and the metal part was still stuck in the controller. That's how crappy they are. So I think it's the 50Xs. Not the 30, but they're the 50s. I suggest that you do not get one of those, and I might stop by my local game Stroop next week and pick up new headset. I really don't want to use my credit card to buy another headset, but how am I supposed to bring you guys the latest and greatest games with my vocals, because you know you don't want to just watch someone play a game and not hear anything. So I'll make that sacrifice. I don't know if I'll have time next week. Next week is convention in Rosemont, Illinois, so I'll probably be busy with that. So maybe this video has now just become not a 30-minute update of me talking about stuff and hearing really cheesy 8-bit noises in the background of Missile Command. By the way, is an awesome game. If you have not played Missile Command, it's a little bit easier to play, not on the console. That's the other thing too. obviously we know that for a fact that these Atari games came out on the Atari and then were converted to an arcade system. I, on the other hand, found that they were easier to play on the arcade system than they were to play on, obviously, a PS4. I do have Missile Command. It's in my drawer here, for the Atari my mom gave me, which I have yet to check to see if it works, because I have yet to set up my vintage gaming cabinet. Vintage meaning I've been slowly collecting or gathering all the game systems I grew up playing. The only problem is now trying to acquire the games I played as a kid, because they're balls expensive. Anyways, back to where we were. So with the Turtle Beach, I have the other one next to me actually. And you're wondering what am I using right now? I'm using a really crap PS4 console headset that was given to me by a friend. So yeah, I have. Oh, it's the Air Force Recon. I'm not sure. It doesn't have the model number on it, I don't think. It's the blue headsets, of course. So, but likewise, I had this 2 periods of time. Had no problems with it. Structurally wise, no problem at all. Sucks. Well, that doesn't suck though. Oh. Hey, so if you wanted me to complain and ask if and wonder why I didn't have any vocals during that whole time, you'd find it surprising. So as I'm looking at my headset, I'm sitting there thinking, man, why is it not working? These Air Force, these Recons have a volume knob on it, and you'd be surprised if I told you that the volume knob was set to mute. Yeah, it was set to mute, so I bet you 5 cents if I plug this in it works. So, on that note, after resetting my PS4 controller like 16 times, I think, what did they call it? It's kind of like that whole acronym. You know, acronyms have meanings to them. KISS, keep it simple, stupid. Yeah, apparently I didn't do that. And that used to come from a teacher that I knew. So, yeah. I guess I get to re-record, obviously, this video. And the video of some, it's like an RPG, no, it's an RPG turn-based game. It's a freeware game. Freeware meaning you could get it for free to play for the PS4. So I'll have to redo that. And of course, I'm sure you guys saw my footage from Anime Central last month. Anime Midwest is taking place next weekend, so I'll be busy with that. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do the vlogging of that. Probably the same type of concept as with the backpack stuff, because this is a bigger convention. It's not as easy for me to walk around with the GoPro in my hand. Oh, I'm sorry guys, I'm tired. Because I don't have a gimbal yet. If I did gimbal, it'd probably be a little easier to watch. Back to the gaming and my failure there. So, you see that I died there. I think I'm gonna die again here. I'm like, oh look, there's a shield. Oh, there we go. I know how to move now. So basically, this is asteroids, but this is what's weird is like the way that this. Oh, they're crashing. The way that this game is not the asteroids game itself, but the Atari Flashback, classics, is very overbearing in a sense. Like, I kind of, oh, I died again. I kind of went into it as, well, think about this. The Atari has one, maybe 2 buttons and a joystick. So how hard could it be? Okay, well now you're playing with a controller that has a D-pad, a touchpad that it probably isn't programmed to anything, a start button, an options button, a screen share button, 2 joysticks, 4 back buttons, and 4 top D-pad buttons. So, what? And they have them all mapped differently. There's a couple buttons that don't do anything. And, It's kind of like when I played, was it? I don't think it was Resident Evil 2. I played one of the Resident Evils. I'm gonna crash again, aren't I? I'm pretty sure I don't make this one. It's like when you play older games, and then you switch back and forth between playing older games and newer games. Crash. Ooh, close. You go from playing a game that has strictly only cardinal directions, cardinal just northeast, south, and west, not the northeast, southeast, southwest, northwest directions. So it's very difficult to play because you have to realize that, you know, like when I played Resident Evil, to shoot you had to, like, you know, say there's a zombie in front of you and you're not aimed up correctly, you can't just like aim and move over. You keep moving over in weird aspects. Oh, I died. But I guess I scored, so that's all that matters. I did pretty good with there. It seems like I played some other games on here. Asteroids was pretty fun. Crystal Castles is pretty fun. I actually love this. If you get a chance to play Red Baron, it is really freaking fun. Very easy too. You just kind of just have to imagine in your brain, like when you're getting shot at, how to dodge. But I did pretty good at this actually. Sorry, I keep hitting like. I did pretty good. So I kept playing it. I played it for a couple rounds. It's weird too because, like, obviously, I mean, look how simplistic this game is. I mean, you're shooting little bullets coming out of your guns on your airplane. Getting points for blowing up what looks like probably AA guns or something like that that are on the ground or in the mountains. But it's weird too because they look like satellite dishes from Star Wars. You know, those laser guns from Battlefront 1. That's pretty much what it looks like. I think of the sounds of this, it's very simplistic. It's like if you watch someone drive a car and they keep like hitting the top of their tachometer before they switch gears. I mean, that's what it sounds like. A very simplistic game, you know? Good score, you got your lives in the top left there, and what I like about this, the way that they do these Atari games, is obviously I'm playing on a 44-inch flat screen. Well, you know, they didn't make Atari games to fit on a 44-inch flat screen. So I like that they took the themes of the games and put some kind of cool, like, banner on the on the game itself. So it keeps you not annoyed by the letter boxing. And I died. Died a couple times there. And I almost feel like when I did these games, it was a lot easier to commentate after the fact. I tried to commentate very well doing this, but it's very difficult to commentate while you're playing. Especially in some games. I remember playing For Honor, I had a hard time commentating because it's just so focused on defending rather than paying attention talking. Oh, I died again. And I got a great score. The only great score. There's some other games on there too that already had the default scores to it, which was kind of weird. I think I'm playing... What am I playing now? It's not Tempest, I don't think. What I was actually kind of surprised that wasn't on here was Galaga, but I'm not sure if Galaga was an MIME game. Which was another arcade system, strictly arcade system. Gravitron? No. All I know is that this game here, I didn't do too well at, and you'll see here in a second. So, like, sorry, I keep going. The square boxes that I end up going to at each round. Hey all, it's Geek Invasion 21 here back again. Continuing off on where we were, I died horribly. So we kill off the guards of this ship or planet, if you want to call it that. We call it a ship or planet. I mean, you know how it is. Death Star. It's not a moon. It's a space station. Anyways, you dock on the white platform. Simplistic enough. You take this little character and you're supposed to... Oh god, the jumping was so horrible. I couldn't even barely get it. Because, you know, I mean, you just hold... Oh, I'm dead. Yeah, you don't want to get hit by those things. So basically, when you fell from the gravity of that, you wanted to make your way to the far right. I almost died again. Make your way to the far right. Like, show, jump up, and now you want to get up because you basically activated the reactor. And you can see it at the top right. It shows the reactor's timing and how much oxygen you have left. And you get away, and then it explodes. Boom. And then you do it all over again. Except for the enemies are a little harder. There's more enemies and their patterns are different. And I have no clue why I always do that. I would just be dodging the bullets, not running into them. So the faster you kill them, you get a bonus. The ships are different, as you can see. A little harder. And I don't know why. I literally had saw it and I walked straight into it like an idiot. Yeah, let's see if there's other scores on here. This is pretty good for that aspect. This multiplayer, which is kind of cool. I mean, if you have other friends or family that you want to play with, that's pretty cool to just mess with. I don't know why I played this stupid math game like an idiot. I only imagined what else I was going to learn besides just doing math. I was so confused here, I didn't realize I had to put both digits in. It's an Atari game. Simplistic math. Anyways, it looks like I just sit here and keep doing this. The other games that I was talking about, obviously, I'm on the smaller tiers. There's a second tier, a third tier, and a fourth tier of these games. They will actually show you the manual. They'll show you the box, of course, of the game. And you can spin it, and you can see what will look the front of the game, what will look like on the back. And then you can look at the instructions for the game. Like, the instructions are pretty detailed. I know that when I went to the bargain box down in Zanesville, Ohio, where I got some of the Atari games, I tried to find the manuals for the games. And for the vintage aspects, I picked up a couple Atari manuals just to see what they were like. They're very, very, very detailed. Extremely detailed. And it was just kind of boring. I don't know if you guys remember watching me playing Volume 1. I was really bored out of my mind. The brain games, see, there's a number pad. I think one of the controllers is a number pad that you can get or you can purchase. Because you obviously have the original, it's just the little one stick joystick with the red button on the top. I have a couple of those, and I got some other very weird looking controllers. It looks like a trackball and a button. I'm not even sure what that does. Anyways, games, I didn't realize as I kept playing it, I'm like, oh, it's just Simon Says. Except for, I wasn't like trying to lose. I was just like, let's just see how well I can remember things, you know? I mean, I got a picturistic memory, and you just kind of add a sound to it, you know? You just do it real quick. And I started listening to it, and I'm like, huh, that sounds very familiar, you know? So I think I make it to like round 14 when I just decided to give up. But You know what? What I can tell you in my era of gaming, and we'll go as far back as my first console was a Sega Genesis, not the 32-bit, the Mega, just the regular Sega Genesis. Which actually, for you millennials out there, they made a Sega Genesis 3, which was actually smaller. Nothing different, of course, but it wasn't like the original system. And I still have my original system. The only thing that sucks about it is that the audio cables break after a while. Anyways, talking about vintage stuff, and it has to do with the whole Brain Games thing, is I had I think I have it somewhere still. I never, when I grew up, my mom never threw out electronics unless they were like broken. But I had this VTech laptop, and it wasn't like a real like laptop. It was a laptop used to learn, math, drawing, in game form. And oh my god, I could tell you I played the shit out of it. And I guess you don't think about this, but it kind of goes along with your intelligence level. As a grown-up, you learn that instead of, watching TV, you're playing, I guess you do learn playing video games, but just doing other things. I spent a lot of time playing educational games when I grew up. What I mean is growing up, like from ages probably 5 to like 11, I played a lot of educational games like Math Blaster. Oh god, could anyone remember Math Blaster? Math Blaster, Typing Instructor. There was a lot of these educational games, and I can't remember the company that made them, but there was a lot of educational games that I used to be able to go to the library and rent PC games, for Windows 95, and they were all educational, but they were real fun to play. The Carmen Sandiego, I would kill to play a Carmen Sandiego game again, because it was one of those like learn history, puzzle, adventure type mystery games. That was pretty epic. Almost as crazy epic as playing, I still have it, and it's probably one of my favorite games. And it brings back memories because it probably still has the memories of my childhood and my friends' names in it. It was NBA Live 93, I think. It was one of those bigger cartridges that allowed you to save data in it. So I had a couple basketball teams with all my friends' names in it. And I was like, this is a dope-ass game, Probably more dope than me playing this game and figuring out what I should and shouldn't do. Like, I can shoot those things, those white things I want to cross. I can shoot purple little monster thingies, but I can't shoot the pink ones. You get some really angry noise that comes out of the TV, and you're like, what did I do wrong? Screen flashes, and you're like, oh, did I level up? Oops. I didn't do too well. Oh, I think I got hit. Oh, look, I died. I didn't understand what to do there. The fact that is these Atari games come with multiple game modes. That's pretty cool. And they're all changed by a little dongle switch at the top of your Atari. Those buttons that you're pressing right now, game select. Obviously, you wouldn't hit R1 if you were playing it. You'd actually hit the controller. Not the controller, but the console had switches on them that'll allow you to switch the game selection, which I'm assuming that as you're pressing it on screen, it'll tell you which one you're trying to play. This is what I discovered. I think I hit two-player soccer. I sweeped the game, of course, as the blue team just stood there, and I just took it away and went full force down the court. You know, not like it wasn't like offsides or anything. And realized I was only playing with Phantom second player when the console stopped sweating. So, well, not to cut it short, but this is probably like where it's gonna end off. I continue to play more games that I have no freaking clue what I'm doing, and it's just that's how bad I thought these Atari games were. And on I can't remember the name of the website I started doing some of my reviews on, my user reviews, because you'll see a lot of critic reviews. There are a lot more critic reviews for, oh god, this is the worst golf game ever. A lot more critic reviews for this, a lot of other popular games. There were only critic reviews for this game, no player reviews, because no one in the right mind would ever pay the money that Atari wanted for these games. Which, I mean, it does make sense. They wanted $20, you know, with the tax from whatever retail you are for. There's probably like, I don't know, 30 to 50 games on there. But 10 to 20 of those games are educational piece of crap games that you can't figure out. Like this golf game that I can't figure out for the life of me how to get the ball from that side to the left side of the fucking screen. with what looks like a kickstand that turns in circles or something. I don't know. And I think I keep playing it just to be funny about it. So I'm gonna end it off here soon, but I want to let you know that upcoming, obviously after Anime Midwest, I've got a wedding to DJ, and then I have what else? Dokyo-Con comes up the weekend after that, so I'll be very, very busy. Obviously with the holidays coming up here soon, so I hope you guys have a great holiday weekend. I hope to get this video out before then. And coming up next from Gamefly is Berserk. It's a very brutal anime, but they made a video game for it, and I hope to do the review to that. And I already loaded up and installed Knights of Azure on my PS4. That'll be the next game to get into. So, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this, hearing me bicker and bitch about my controller and my headset, which I figured out was a tool move. Make sure you don't mute yourself. And if you have to play any of these Atari games, get yourself an emulator or Redbox it or something. Don't spend the money on it. It's really not worth it. Thanks for watching, guys.